So hello all, this is Vinay Kumar. So and welcome to Sociology orientation session. So let me be brief. When you spend some time with me, like I want you to extract everything from this time which you have spent. So let me, before going into the session itself, let me tell you how I am orienting this session, what I have planned in this session. First thing is, I will try to first start the discussion what is sociology. Okay, in sociology, in this session, first I want to give you the essence of sociology. Essence of sociology is now, just now we have finished lunch session. So if at all it was prior to lunch session, if someone was cooking some good delicious food, you will have that, you will get that because of that flavor, because of that smell, you will feel that you want to have food. Okay, it increases your appetite for food, it will increase you to it will increase your appetite. On the same line, let me make it very clear through this session. I want to give you the essence of sociology. I want to tell you what sociology is. I know that the students who are sitting in front of me, who are attending online also, I know as a matter of fact, they don't know more about sociology. Okay, so I know as a matter of fact, they know something about society, but they don't know about sociology. But sociology is nothing but study of society. Okay, we'll talk about that. So in this session, we will be talking about essence of sociology. So first we'll talk about what sociology covers. Then we will talk about, it is not, let me be very clear also. I know that you are selecting sociology not for academic career, to build academic career. You are pursuing sociology to build a competitive career. Means nothing but you want to, in a student terms, sir, I want to attend your session, I want to get good marks in sociology, I want to clear this examination, and I want to leave this circle of circle of coachings or preparation circle. I want to get salvation from preparation circle. To get salvation from preparation circle, how sociology will help me. That is also one thing which I'll discuss. To exit from the salvation of preparation, to achieve salvation, to exit from this preparation cycle, how sociology will also help you. Because here neither me or you both are of this orientation that you should get more marks. My classes should make you to get more marks. That is what. So first thing, I'll talk about essence of sociology. Next, I will talk to you how sociology will help you in this preparation. Okay, how sociology will help you get good marks in this examination, not only in optional, but also we'll talk about overlapping areas. As it is an orientation session, let me be very basic. Okay, I'll not use more technical words. I'll use only technical words wherever they are necessary. I'll refrain from using technical words. Still, I will introduce you sociology. So that is, I know that is a bit challenging, but let me try it. Even I want to make this class interesting for myself also, not only for you. So let me introduce you to the world of sociology without focusing on technical aspects. Same like recently, Varanasi trailer or glimpse, whatever you say, has been released by Rajamouli. He did not say anything about the movie. He did not talk more about movie. He gave a glimpse and asked people to infer what they understand. Let me be very clear that my session will also be in such a way that I will introduce you to the world of sociology. Okay, let me use this time to introduce you to the world of sociology. So then I will talk about, after introducing this world also, we will be talking about paper 1 and paper 2 of sociology. What does paper 1 covers? What does paper 2 covers? We will also go into the details of syllabus. We will also go into the details of syllabus. By going into the details of syllabus, I'll also try to highlight. I'll also discuss what we study in sociology. Okay, what do we study in sociology? In paper 1, what it covers. In paper 2, what it covers. And finally, I also want to talk about very important aspects. after this session, many students would ask me a question. Sir, what should I do? Okay, what should I do to get 300 marks in sociology? And that is one question which is which is running behind subconsciously in every serious aspirant's mind. Every serious aspirant, let me tell you, every serious aspirant is thinking that, sir, I want to spend less time and I want to get more marks. Okay, although I don't believe in this ideology, I don't believe in this idea, but even this I'll try to discuss, like why, I'll not directly focus on this, I'll directly focus on this aspect by questioning that why many students are revolving or are scoring on an average only 280 marks in optional. Why most of the students, let me put it in this way, most of the students are only getting 280 marks. So how to cross this 300, how to get this 320? See, getting 320, 330, there were times people used to get 330, 340 also. But why now people are not getting that marks? Many people are of the phobia, are of the feeling that no, UPSC is going for normalization. That is the reason why UPSC is not giving marks. Actually, I don't believe in that. UPSC is one of the rational institution. UPSC would never do such type of things. Normalization just the UPSC to make every subjects competitive, but UPSC will not demerit. UPSC will not give negative marks to a candidate who is working hard, who's writing better answers, and deliberately UPSC will not say that no, I will not give you more than 300. So somewhere students are lagging some aspects. So in that aspects, so how my classes are going to help you, how to cross that 300 marks, how to get that 320 marks. I'll try to give you example also where I have seen lacking in most aspirants. I'm not saying that every aspirant is lacking, but 90% of the aspirants are lacking skills to write answer writing. Okay, in our classes, we will not only focus on completion of syllabus. Okay, let me make it very clear. I'll focus on completion of syllabus. I'll focus in our classes entire PYQs. Okay, till now, last 10 to 15 years of PYQs will be discussed in the class, and my students will write those PYQs in the class itself. Okay, if you want, you can go through the notes of the running batch, previous batch students also. So their notes you see after every topic, they will have a PYQ section. Every topic, PYQ topics, after every topic, PYQs will be discussed. Students, after listening to the classes, they will answer the PYQs, and I will evaluate those PYQs. I will discuss those PYQs, and I will also focus on answer writing. So what are the measures we will be taking? Okay, from your side, what type of measures, what type of efforts you have to put? From my side, what type of efforts I have put? Already my efforts will be visible when you discuss with the previous students or the running students. So when you interact with them, you will understand what are the efforts which I am making. And we for the first time, okay, in India, we are launching a study hours for sociology. Not only that, there will be a classes which will be modeled on the basis of classes will be like, it will not be presentation. Today, to discuss orientation, to show some data, I will use presentation. I'm not against presentation, but what happens is, when it comes to subject like sociology, when we are using presentations through presentation, PPT mode of teaching, what is happening is, students are not able to get the essence of sociology. If they are not able to get the essence of sociology, how can they apply sociology in real life? So that is the reason why my classes will be like traditional way. I believe in traditional way. Like, I will teach on the board and I will give you notes, and that will be there. Apart from that, I will also give you material which is prepared. I'll show you material which has been prepared by me by combining all the standard sources. What are the standard sources which I have taken? I will discuss also. So by my class notes, by the material which is being prepared by me, by writing PYQs, you can easily cross the barrier called 300. Apart from that, in answer writing also, like there will be a hand-holding approach where I will make students to write answers in a way where you can get good marks. And always I tell to the students, write answer in a way where you can get I'll not say that you have to get above average marks. You should get you should write what you say, you should get 60%, you should get 70%. I always tell to my students that when you write answers, keep that one idea in your mind, that I am writing this answer to get one additional mark above other aspirants. Means it is a competitive examination. In competitive examination, andar kanna, compared to other people, if at all I get one additional mark, not one, half additional mark, you have to write around 19 questions, you will get around 10 marks. In paper 1, you are getting additionally 10 marks compared to other people. In paper 2, you are getting additionally 10 marks. So you have to fight for that 1 mark. When you write every answer when you are writing, make a promise to yourself that I want to get 1 additional mark, only 1 mark additionally compared to other aspirants. This small idea will bring a big change in your score. This is one mantra which I always inculcate into my students. So when you write answer, I will not say this is your perfect answer. I'll not give a comment that this is a perfect answer. Yes, still you have to fight for additional 1 mark. So that way we will be focusing on not to limit you to 280 or 290s. You have to cross that barrier, and UPSC will definitely give marks if at all you focus on such type of answer writing, such type of conceptual clarity. Definitely UPSC will reward. Okay, so we will focus on that. So sociology foundation course, we are launching this foundational course, and before talking about why sociology and all, let me answer very simple. What is sociology? Let us discuss very simple point. What do you understand by sociology? What is sociology? What is your understanding of sociology? What do we study in sociology?
Study of society.
Okay, very good. Study of society. Do everyone agree with this definition? Or someone want to give a new definition or reframe this definition? Study of society and its culture. Okay. Study of society and its culture. Okay. Anyone?
Understanding society.
Understanding society. It's not study. You have to understand society. Okay. Before talking about what is sociology, you said that sociology is study of society, study of culture, or understanding society. Let me take some time and I want to ask you, what is society? What do you understand as society? Group of people is society. So we are society now. We are society now. We are a group of people, right? Okay. Let me talk about society, then we'll talk about sociology. Society is nothing but a group of people. Group of people can be more than a person. When these persons are having any social interaction can be any type of social interaction. If they are having any social interaction, and if you can find a pattern in those social interactions, if you can decode a pattern, or if you can emerge a pattern, or if you can find out a pattern, that pattern, to study that pattern, okay, is called sociology. So you are studying society. How you are studying society? You are looking into the pattern which is existing in the society. When we are studying pattern, when we are understanding the pattern, means nothing but we are investigating, we are observing. That is what I say, like sociology is nothing but it is a scientific, just need a definition I am reframing. Okay, scientific study of society, or you can say scientific study of social world. Okay, so society is scientific study of social world. Now you understood what is society, what is sociology? Very simple. Okay, let us still talk about sociology only. Now let me ask you a very simple question. Why do you want to take sociology as an optional? Apart from the points which I have discussed, please don't repeat the points which I have discussed, but what makes you to study sociology? What made you to study sociology? Okay, can I help you? Sir, sociology is nothing but the world in which we are living. We are going to study about that world. Now, my question is, when you want to study the world in which you are living, why do you need a discipline called sociology? I want to answer this question by answering that when you study about the world in which we are living, okay, actually, when you look around this world, you think that the world is very familiar. Okay, you look that, yes, I know I am born in a caste, I am born in one religion, I am born in one family. Do I need a discipline like sociology to teach me family system? Do I need a discipline to teach me caste system? Do I need a discipline to teach me religion? But what do I argue when I promote sociology, when I teach sociology? Okay, sociology will help you to know better society, to better understand the society. Means nothing but the argument here is we take society for granted. When fish which is living in a water, fish takes water for granted. On the same lines, when we are living in this society, we take this society for granted. And we think that we know society, but actually, when you study society through the discipline of sociology, you will understand that there are many layers to this society. So, through sociology, you want to decode those layers. Okay, now you people are living in a nuclear family. Many people, this generation people, might not be aware about joint families. So, influence of joint family on Indian society. What is joint family? How joint families is different in India? How joint family is different in Western societies? Do joint families exist in Western societies? Is joint family a peculiar phenomena to India? Okay, if not, why? What are the unique traits which we see in Indian society? So, the reason why you want to take sociology is you know that sociology studies about our society. But the point, what makes it challenging, I'm not saying that sociology is challenging. What makes challenging is there are many layers where your understanding need to be strengthened. That makes sociology interesting. Yes, so in sociology, one of the advantage for sociology is you will be studying with the things which you are familiar. But sociology as a discipline will defamiliarize the familiar. So one of the thinker have defined the definition of sociology as defamiliarizing the familiar. Yes, you are familiar with family system, you are familiar with religion, you are familiar with caste system. You would be defamiliarized, means nothing but you would be exploring more dimensions. There would be one individual who might be born in an upper caste. He might not know how important subaltern studies are. He might not be having an idea about the contributions of great reformers, great leaders like Jyoti Rao Phule, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Okay, because he have never seen the dimension of discrimination. He just knows that he is from upper caste, but he never have experienced this discrimination. In fact, knowingly or unknowingly, sometimes he might be the he might have promoted discrimination. So when we talk about these familiar aspects, you would be defamiliarizing with this familiar world. Okay, in this familiar world, so there is one sociologist called Peter Berger. Okay, so he defined sociology as new eyes to the known world. The world is known, the world is, you are familiar with this world, but you need new eyes. You need to defamiliarize, you need to dig deep into those layers. So that is what is sociology. So yes, in sociology, let me conclude this argument. In sociology we are not going to study about rocket science. We are studying about familiar aspects, but we will be discussing that familiar aspects in such a way where you would be defamiliarizing what are the dimensions which you are not familiar. We will explore that dimension. There might be one person who might be from upper caste. He is only familiar about caste system from upper caste perspective. Let him also study subaltern perspective. Let him also study what is this, Dalit. What is this Dalit identity? What are these lower caste? What are the problems faced by lower caste? How lower caste were discriminated? Historical connotation to caste system. These are the things which will be discussed. Now you understood what is sociology. So this is what we will be talking. Anyways, like, let me give you a different examples also. Many people will be talking about suicides. Okay, but sociologists will scientifically study suicides. Sociologists will find out patterns in suicide. Okay, if suicide is common to every society, but why in some areas there is more suicide? Why is Bangalore the suicide capital? Okay, so we will figure out that. And if suicide is suicide only because of what you say stress? Is suicide having another, why people are committing suicide? Is there any pattern in suicide? Yes, we will think that many psychologists will say that suicides are because of individual reasons, but sociologists will find out the patterns. That is what I am saying, scientific study of society. We are going to study suicide not as a personal, why people are committing suicide, not because of personal experiences. There is some pattern to this suicide. Okay, that we will be decoding. So we are going to find out the patterns. So therefore sociology is the science of society. Okay, sociology is science of society, because what is this science? We are finding patterns to understand this society. Okay, we will study patterns in suicide. For that matter, like when we talk about different dimensions, like why joint families are declining and why nuclear families are forming. There are patterns. There are different reasons why joint families are declining and nuclear families are emerging. Why nowadays, earlier when we talk about family means a couple having children. Nowadays we see a new type of family emerging. That is what we call as an dink families. What is that? Dink families, double income, no kids. Means couple want to stay married, but couple don't want to don't want to have kids. There are patterns. You understand my point? So why Dink families are emerging? There is a reason. There are certain reasons why this. Sociologists will study about this. The causes, reasons. At the end of the day, sociologists will go for scientific study. What are the patterns leading to rising of Dink families? When you study about double income no kids, what might be the causes, what might be the reasons for rising Dink families? What do you know? What do you understand by rising Dink families? Why do you think that Dink families are rising? Economic factors. Okay, economic factors. Rising cost of living. Okay, that might be the thing. Very good. Inka? Sociologists have decoded there are not only economic reasons, social factors are also there, economic factors are also there, different factors are also there. Economists have also decoded that there are also ecological reasons. Means couples are very much concerned about raising ecological footprint. Means nothing but environment is being degraded because of increasing population. So for their love to protect environment, they don't want to increase the economic footprint. Economic footprint will be increased when population is increasing. Are you understanding the scientific study? Are you understanding the pattern? So this is what is the essence of sociology. In sociology, Dink families andarki telusu. Many people are not, they don't want to have kids. It is not someone is forcing them. It is their own choice. Then definitely there might be a reason. So these type of familiar things we will be studying about what is the reasons for this. So that is the reason why sociologists will study society. So sociology is a science of society. You understand my point? So this is how we will study sociology. We will study about different aspects. Now for that matter, recently I'll give you some recent examples. What are the reasons for the result of Bihar elections? Why do you think that a certain political party, has won that elections? What made this result? What were the factors behind this result? So in sociology, we have a syllabus, we have a topic called politics and society. So even in paper 1 we have politics and society, in paper 2 we have politics and society. So when we talk about politics, we talk about the caste equation, we talk about different dimensions. So let me not going into that much technicalities. When we talk about Bihar verdict, definitely a sociologist can interpret this Bihar verdict very how we as a sociologist are going to interpret this Bihar verdict is there is a caste dimension to it. There is a caste dimension to it because in Bihar you see 63% of the voters, 60% of the population is from backward class. Economically backward caste and other backward class combinedly constitute 63%. Next, SC population approximately constitute 20%. So those political parties which I'm not saying that which used the caste identities better in representing their political manifesto and in representing their candidates for elections. So using the caste dynamics, which political party has used this caste dynamics in a better way have got a edge. But not only caste, there are also other dimensions. I know that when we talk about Bihar verdict, everyone will talk about this caste dynamics. That is the reason why I want to rule out that. Now I want to ask, what do you think are the reasons behind this Bihar verdict?
Candidate selection.
Candidates. Okay, that is what I talked. Okay. Definitely, there is a debate of in each country, not only in country, in every state. Election verdicts will always be centered around the debate of development. So, both the narrative of development, both the outcomes of development will reflect in elections. Narrative of development means the through manifesto what you are promising to the people. Narrative, what I am going to do in the future, or the results of development, outcomes of development measures means the government schemes which have been implemented so far. These both will play a key role. Now, in Bihar, what happened was the existing government have promised to, like, Bihar Mahila Rozgar Yojana. Recently, the government, Nitish Kumar government have announced 10,000 rupees to every woman. Like, there is a criteria to women to such that through this 10,000 they can start any small employment, or you can say like this can be used as an what you say investment to start any entrepreneur, or to start any type of initiatives, like they can open a new shop, they can something. So this way what we have doing is, what Bihar government have promised is, through these initiatives they tried to emphasize on women development. That is what I am saying. Narrative is one thing and the outcomes of development means till now what you have done. So development debate is also one of the major thing. And Bihar existing earlier Bihar government have tried to make sure that Bihar women get the lion's share in the development measures. Now, why do you think that? This is one thing, but here is the catch. Why do you think that the government focused more on women? Okay, this is where our understanding of society, sociological knowledge makes it more interesting. See, when you look at the Bihar socio-economic profile, socio-demographic profile, you see in Bihar is the largest state in India when you look from the data of migration. Out migration from Bihar is more. Men are migrating more to other states for jobs. So women who are living in Bihar, they would constitute the major major deciding factor, decisive role, because the development measure have to be contributing, have to cater to the needs of women. And that is the reason why you see when Bihar elections happened, when the polling was happening, the Bihar voter turnout ratio was more. And the data said that women turnout ratio in elections is more. Means nothing but those political parties which have done development, who made sure that the development measures are catering to the needs of women more, then those political party will do better. That is the reason why most of the political parties who were contesting in Bihar, they developed a narrative over development of Bihar was the primary agenda, and the development of women, participation of women, governance models for women were emphasized. And those political party which convinced this narrative better, who made sure that the development measures were catering to the needs of women, those political party has won the elections. So this is how you will talk about in sociology. We will be talking about role of politics in society. We will be talking about role of caste in politics. We will be talking about role of government schemes. Okay, so every dimension will be playing is very important, and that is the reason why nowadays you see Bihar election is like a silent revolution. If at all I want to say, why it is a silent revolution is Bihar election has clearly shifted the elections. Earlier elections were like catering majorly about male, okay, focusing on male candidates, but Bihar elections has clearly shown a new revolution emerges that government should focus more on the development of the state and also should focus on the development of women. Okay, that is a reason why you see BR women has played a decisive role in the elections. And now in sociology, what are the technical aspects we will be studying about this thing is, there is a sociologist, Indian sociologist called A.R. Desai. Okay, A.R. Desai talked about a concept called democratization of democracy. Democratization of democracy means nothing but democracy should reach the grassroots level. Now you see, democracy is giving more importance to the agenda of women. Don't we see that it is democratization of democracy, democracy reaching to the grassroots level? So this is how we Indian sociologists will talk about the role of politics in society, role of caste in society, role of social aspects, how migration as a dimension is playing a role, how caste equation is playing a role, how economic measures, development agenda is playing a key role. So this is how you can understand the Bihar elections from a sociological limelight, how it is bringing a new revolution where political parties should give. It is Bihar verdict is clearly saying that political parties should emphasize on women development. So that is what earlier in sociology we studied, earlier in society we studied that women were not treated equally. Here now you see the entire political manifesto is centering around women. That is clearly you can understand that A.R. Desai's concept of democratization of democracy. So democracy reaching grassroots, democracy reaching vulnerable sections. So democracy reaching lower sections, democracy emphasizing on development of lower sections, a democracy helping for the upliftment of vulnerable sections. So this is how you can talk about Bihar verdict. And for that matter, when we talk about, this is one example, like if I can talk about technical, I would have discussed more, but I'm not going into the technical aspects. Okay, let it be very simple, peripheral understanding. I'm not going into the core debate with respect to Bihar verdict. What are the different Indian sociologists would have interpreted Bihar verdict, how those theories can be understood from the lens of Bihar verdict. One such example is Indian sociologist here this side. Now apart from that, you can also see recently one example like white collar terrorism. In sociology, we talk about religion. We talk about religion and society. In religion and society, we talk about religious revivalism. Okay, we talk about religious revivalism. We talk about fundamentalism, religious fundamentalism. And in sociology, we also talk about like secularization, all these debates. Okay, so but when we talk about under this also, recently we see this radical ideologies is promoting. Okay, these radical ideologies are giving a scope for spreading of terrorism. So that is the reason why initially we talked about, we tried to understand terrorism like from a dimension of deprived people. Okay, socially, economically deprived people will become more vulnerable to terrorism, and these people, deprived people will be influenced by terrorism, and these people will move towards close to terrorism. But now through this we have seen, through this white collar terrorism, we see terrorism is not only attracting Okay, terrorism is not only making people victim who are socially and economically deprived, but also educated people. Are doctors, you see, doctors involving in terrorism, doctors involving in supplying of doctors using their professional tag, and they are using as a logistic to supply logistic. This clearly conveys that terrorism is going into new terrorism is emerging in such a way where we could not comprehend. So on the same lines, in sociology, under this religion and society, we will talk about these type of terrorism, different types of terrorism, how in different societies why terrorism is increasing, and how can we understand this white collar terrorism in a better way. So this is how we will be talking about emerging aspects also. So this is how I want to say that sociology is very dynamic. So when you understand the society, not only we will understand in sociology, we will understand the static aspects of society, but we will also understand the dynamic aspects. When we talk about role of caste in politics, now we got a new case study, Bihar verdict. When we talk about what are the factors for rising terrorism, what are the social causation factors, when we talk about that, now we got a new case study called white collar terrorism. So this is how we will be talking in sociology. We will be talking about dynamic aspects as well as static aspects. In our classes, I'll try to balance this dynamism with static portions. Okay, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that you understand these social issues in a better way. Okay, so this, I think with this discussion, I hope you got some essence what do we study in sociology. Okay, so now you have got the essence of sociology. Let me move to next part of our discussion. Why sociology? See, compared to other optionals, like when you have so many optionals in UPSC, compared to other optionals, the success rate in sociology is very good. Like the success rate is somewhere around 9.2%. So sociology has good success rate. So this is one of the reason why many people select sociology. And every year, you know, top 10 rankers also, like 3 or 4 students in top 10, okay, in UPSC will be from sociology. So the sociology has good success rate, and in top 10 also, okay, 3 or 4 students, at max 4 students will be from sociology optional. Okay, like you see, who are the, I have given you the data also, number of candidates appeared, and out of 1245 candidates who appeared, so around 115 students got selected for interview. Next, so nearly 16 selections in top 50 ranks every year. Like you can see, one third rankers in top 50 will be from sociology optional. And you have to understand that, so there are many toppers, like there are some toppers who have scored exceptionally well. Okay, so now when we talk about optional, share of optional in GS, see, optional will be of two papers, you know that. So optional weightage will be 500 marks, and in optional will make your attempt, will break your attempt. And that is the reason why selection of optional is utmost important. And I always tell my students that, sir, how to select optional when they come? No, if that optional is interesting, if you are able to find interest daily, if you can spend 2 to 3 hours with that optional, if you find yourself comfortable to spend 2 to 3 hours with that optional, then you can go with optional. అదే చూడండి, పెళ్లి సంబంధాలకు వెళ్తారు, ఓకే, చాలా మంది ఏంటి అంటే ఈ పెళ్లి సంబంధాలప్పుడు కన్ఫ్యూజన్ లో ఉంటారు, ఎవరిని సెలెక్ట్ చేయాలి, ఇంతమందిని మాట్లాడినప్పుడు మనం ఏమంటాము అంటే ఎవరితోని మాట్లాడినప్పుడు యూ ఫెల్ట్ దట్ కంఫర్ట్, ఎవరితో మాట్లాడినప్పుడు నీకు టైం తెలియలేదు. ఓకే, యూ టాక్డ్ ఫర్ 1 hour, బట్ ఏమనిపిస్తుంది అంటే అరే ఐ జస్ట్ స్పోక్ ఫర్ 2 or 3 minutes. సో ఏ గుడ్ కన్వర్సేషన్ ఈస్ ద ఐస్ బ్రేకర్ టు సెలెక్ట్ perfect match. On the same lines, if there is any subject which is luring you, which is interest, which you are finding interest, you want to read more, at least you can easily spend daily 2 to 3 hours. You can blindly select that optional. In my classes also, if you attend my classes daily, you will have a 2 hours of classes, and after classes I ask my students to spend daily 1 hour 15 minutes for optional. Means how much time I'm asking? Roughly I'm asking 3.5 hours. 2 hours of my classes and 1.5 hour. 1 hour 15 minutes. 15 minutes ఏంటి అంటే ఈ రోజు డిస్కస్ చేసిన క్లాసెస్ రివైజ్ చేసుకోవడానికి, టు రివైజ్ ద డైలీ క్లాస్, అండ్ 1 hour the additional material which I give. That's it. That is all I would ask. After finishing optional classes also, daily if you spend that same 3 hours, 300 marks would be your easy talk. Easy, it will be a cakewalk. I ask my students only to spend that much time. And you see, when we talk about optional also, see, like you can understand that in UPSC CSC final marks distribution, optional weightage will be somewhere around 25%. Okay, optional weightage will be around 25%. So you see, general studies will be 1000 marks, interview will be 275 marks, optional will be 500 marks, essay will be 250 marks. And you see, every year when you look at the pattern in general studies, hardly a topper in that specific subject also. More or less they will be staggering, they will be revolving around that marks called 50 or 55%. Means out of 250 marks in GS of all the 4 papers, GS 1 topper, like just now I have shown you, know, in GS this ranker score was 425. Out of 1000 she scored 425, means around 42.5%. But in optional, out of 500 she scored 271. So, and this is average mark, let me tell you, this is an average mark. So in optional, scoring average is easy, and in optional, let me make it very clear, in optional if you don't score average marks, you won't be selected in final list. Because you see, definitely in GS you cannot increase your marks. Where you can increase your marks, optional is one area. So that is the reason why I always suggest my students, when they are opting for sociology or any optional, make sure that you should, if you are giving an attempt, by default you have to say that you are writing an average answer by default. But what you should do, what should be your mantra? My answer, every answer should not be average. My every answer is, I'm not talking about average or anything, compared to other candidates, I want to get that 1 extra mark. How can we get that extra mark? I'll discuss that in today's session also. I'll discuss that in classes. Okay, every topic. That is the reason why I say that there are some topics in sociology where students are not being asked questions repeatedly. There are some topics where UPSC is asking questions repeatedly. There are some topics where topics are not that much repeated. There are some topics where topics are repeated. I always tell my students that if there is a topic like, there is a topic like in paper 2, like Indian sociologist, okay, he is called as a father of Indian sociology, GS Gurye. Gurye's Indology is one of the most repeated question in UPSC. Now you know that there is high chance that this question will be repeated. Can't you just make a perfect answer? Take some time and make a perfect answer for that. When you make perfect answer, you are going to repeat that. You are going to get that 1 additional mark. This is what is you are supposed to do. Okay, there is an theory called kinship system in kinship models. Iravati Karve talked about kinship, Iravati system of kinship. Iravati Karve's theory of kinship is repeatedly asked. Can't you make a perfect answer for that? And you can easily get that 1 mark. So this is how I, through my classes, every day, every 2 hours I spend with them. If I take 300 hours, every hour I'll repeat this to my students, that you have to fight for that 1 mark. Every answer you write, after reading question, before reading question only, in this question I want to get additional 1 mark compared to other aspirants. Then you will write better answers. So that is the reason why when we talk about optional subject, so the weightage is more, and sociology is one such optional. Most of the students find it very easy to get average marks, but most of the students find very difficult to get above average marks. So my classes will be not to make you get contented. I am also not going to be contented with your average marks. Through my classes, I'll make sure that you have to get above average marks. Okay, so general studies, the scope for getting high marks, comparatively more marks, getting leverage over others is very difficult. Optional is one subject where you can get leverage over other people. So select optional in such a way where you can get more weightage. Okay, more marks. Now, scope of sociology in GS. This is very important. This everyone have to emphasize, have to focus. Sir, you know, UPSC nowadays, from past 2-3 years or past 3-4 years, UPSC was not giving, was majorly giving philosophical essays. If you have seen, philosophical essays UPSC is focusing on. But earlier, UPSC used to give 2 sections. In 2 sections, in one section, definitely you used to have a essay on social issue, contemporary issues, contemporary social issues. There used to be an essay. So, in sociological knowledge will definitely help you to write better essays. But definitely, I am sure that in the coming years, these philosophical essays, UPSC will be focusing. Just 2 years back, again they have given society-related issue. So social issues related essays will be asked in mains. So definitely, sociological knowledge will help you write better essays. Okay, there are like there was an essay which was directly from sociology. The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. So, you know, what is this essay about? What do you think this essay is about? Many people have thought that this essay was about women empowerment. But actually, this essay is about socialization. We talk about socialization in sociology. It is not just about women empowerment. Yes, in child rearing, in making every generation as a leaders for future generation, there is a major role which is being played by women. But mother is not the only one who shapes an individual. Primary socialization is done by family and mother. There are concepts like secondary socialization. Media will play a role. Leaders would play a role. School would play a role. Friends would play a role. Politicians would play a role. Okay, leaders like Mahatma Gandhi would play a role. Leaders like Honorable Prime Minister would play a role. Leaders like Honorable Chief Minister would play a role. You understood? So these people, everyone would play a role. Only sociology students have understood the demand of the essay and they have written well. So in essay also, we have good, you will have a leverage when you take sociology as an optional. In GS1 nowadays, you see, in GS1 you have society related questions. The syllabus of GS1 is society, history, geography, post independence India. Okay, but nowadays, out of 20 questions, one point of time before 2 years, I guess nearly 10 questions were directly from society. I also teach society, so I know that the weightage for society is increasing in GS1. When the weightage for GS1 is increasing, means nothing but by default it is going to help sociology students. So GS1 there is high weightage, and in GS3, in GS2 also there is social justice. GS2 it will also help you, and in GS4 ethics, case studies. If you want to write different dimensions, you sociological understanding can make you write better case studies. Sociological understanding can bring different stakeholders into consideration, and that is the reason why you see nowadays case studies are majorly about social issues. Okay, like caste discrimination, gender sensitization, like or you see, these are the major case studies, and sociological understanding will definitely give you an urge to write better case studies. Okay, so this is one thing which I wanted to discuss. Okay, now who can take sociology as an optional? For me, let me make it very clear. I have students who are from engineering background who have taken sociology optional with me. Who they are from people from doctor, they are people from law, they are people from commerce background, arts background. Okay. Yes, if you have a sociology, does anyone have graduation in sociology, BA or MA? So there are some students who have graduation in sociology and have taken sociology as an optional. See, I have seen that yes, they have an edge, but I don't know whether it might be sometimes by looking at that students, I feel that impact of a small story like tortoise and rabbit. Okay, like that story comes. People think that as we have sociology background, we have an edge over other students, but unfortunately they are not excelling as I anticipated. So somewhere they are also taking things for granted, but students from different backgrounds are excelling in sociology. Many toppers in sociology are from non-sociology educational background, graduation background. Okay, so this clearly shows that with respect to sociology optional, all are equal, everyone can understand. That is the reason why, as I said, no, see, I'll never run in my classes behind, I will never chase time in my classes. I only chase concepts. I only teach concepts and I only chase concepts. I won't chase time. I'll not say that I'll finish your sociology in 3 months. I'll not say I'll teach sociology in 4 months. There were times I finished sociology in less than 4 months also. It is because students were understanding things better. Students were able to spend more time. Students were revising. When they are revising more, do you need to repeat those things? It will not be that difficult. Okay, that is the reason why I don't put a time limit, time frame. But definitely my focus, my sole purpose in my classes will be, until and unless you don't get conceptual clarity, sociology syllabus will not be finished. Everyone should get the conceptual clarity, then only we will move to next topic. This is how I would emphasize. So you are from different background also, I'll make sure that you understand all the sociological dimensions, then only you will move forward. Conceptual clarity will be emphasized, answer writing will be emphasized, and PYQ discussion will be emphasized. PYQs should be written. PYQs will be written by my students in the class itself. Okay, so all are equal when it comes to sociology. You don't need any background. Let me tell you, let me stress on this point. The syllabus is short and there is a clear structure to this syllabus. Okay, so we will take 4.5 months. We will ideally design that program, but according to your understanding, we will increase the time also. Okay, so and I'm not going to discuss this sociology, the syllabus of sociology. I think okay, so when we are talking about uh, syllabus also, I'll not go as UPSC has given, but I'll explain you what is the intention behind UPSC designing this syllabus. Okay, and in sociology, thinkers are the soul of sociology. So to make you understand thinkers, I'll spend maximum time on thinkers. Okay, there are 6 thinkers which is given in the syllabus, and I'll also discuss when I'm discussing about thinkers, I'll discuss the background of thinkers. I'll discuss the timeline of thinkers, in which time period they were. Now when we talk about Karl Marx, so Karl Marx, we'll discuss about time period of Karl Marx, we'll discuss about the background of Karl Marx, what type of family background do you have, he had. So by this you will understand. My point is not to, let me make this clear, my point through sociology classes will not to make you understand the thinker. I want you to own the thinker. I want you to jump into the shoes of thinker and realize what was the society be around him. Then only you will understand what made Karl Marx give the theory about theory of surplus value. Why Karl Marx talked about revolution? Why Karl Marx talked about exploitation? Why Karl Marx always looked into, why Karl Marx talked about sociology or the change of society? Okay, with reference to class struggle. Society changes. Karl Marx talked about changing society through class struggle. One class would be questioned by other consolidated group of class. So how he talked about class struggle, how he used class struggle to explain social change. You will understand that not through his theory alone. His theory of historical materialism is very much important. That is the reason why I said, no, in the orientation session, I don't want to use more of technical words. But he talked about class, evolution of society, social change. Means nothing but how we moved from ancient to medieval to modern. You know, this change. He found a pattern that society changes through class struggle. One class will be revolted by another group of people. So this he explained. So what made him to give this type of theory? You have to understand, you will understand only this in a better way when you understand. Okay, what was his background? On the same line, Karl Marx, after Karl Marx, there is a thinker called Durkheim, Emil Durkheim. You will understand Emil Durkheim. Okay, you will understand Emil Durkheim when you will understand what is the time period of Emil Durkheim. During his period, what was the society state, and why Durkheim sociology is called as a sociology of hope. What Gandhi was to India, Durkheim was to French society. You will understand this, the relation between why we are comparing Gandhi and Durkheim. When you understand the social conditions prevailing in France, what made him to give theory on suicide, what made him to give theory on division of labor. These are the syllabus points. We will not only think, that is what I am saying. In my classes, I will not only explain thinkers, theories. I will explain their background. I will explain their conditions prevailing in that during their life period. Their exposure, who are their gurus, from whom they got inspired. Okay, when we talk about Mahatma Gandhi, we talk about the gurus of Mahatma Gandhi. On the same line, who were the gurus of Karl Marx, who were the guru of Durkheim, and why Talcott Parson has given a theory. Okay, Talcott Parson gave a theory. Majority of his theories were driven by influence of capitalism. Why he was influenced by capitalism is because he was a American sociologist. America is a heart of capitalism. America promoted capitalism. So you'll understand this. So these thinkers, I have seen, initially I used to only discuss about thinkers. Then I understood that after the finishing of syllabus, students are not understanding the essence of those thinkers. So their theories, to make you understand the essence of theories of the thinkers, I will introduce thinkers in such a way that you will understand their theories in a better terms. That is the reason why I want you to not learn about thinkers. I want you to own thinkers. I want you to feel what thinkers thought. I want you to jump into their shoes. And I also want to understand why UPSC has only given these 6 thinkers. These 6 thinkers have different thought process. These 6 thinkers have given different theories. Okay, so while with the experience of interacting with many students, I have realized that some students are finishing the sociology course and not able to get the essence of sociology. So that is the reason why at the end of the day, I don't want your tummy to be full without getting the flavor of sociology. Means nothing but I don't want your syllabus to be finished in hurry and without you not getting the essence of sociology. My focus will be on getting you understanding, you appreciating, you owning sociological concepts. Through that clarity only we'll finish syllabus. Unfortunately, what I have seen is through mentorship, I have seen many students are approaching me, okay, after finishing coaching, okay, from different places, and they are not understanding this basic points. This clearly shows that they did not understand that organically that concept. They just learned by hearted the theory. I don't want you to do that. I want you to digest sociology. Okay. So that is the reason why we will focus clear structure. Just till now what I was explaining is my classes will be very organized. My classes will be very structured such that you will understand sociology. I'll try to integrate paper 1 with paper 2. Okay. Now, what are the challenges with sociology optional? Answer writing is one complexity. Next, abstract theoretical content. You know, there are some theories, but how do I address this abstract theoretical content is, just now I talked about Karl Marx. So Karl Marx talked about historical materialism. There is a theory. In every books you see, standard books, there was only talking about historical materialism and mode of production. Okay. But to understand this historical materialism and mode of production, there is some theories called dialect theories. Okay, laws of dialects. That was given by Karl Marx. That is not there in standard books. Many students don't know these laws of dialects. When you don't know these laws of dialects, you can not understand historical materialism. So, I will simplify this abstract theoretical content by giving additional knowledge. Okay, so అదే ఉంటుంది చూడండి, like before watching preview you cannot understand the original theory. So I'll try to give preview for every theory. I'll try to this abstract how I am going to address these challenges. Abstract theoretical content, I will, if there is a thinker, he gave theory with respect to different country, European context, I'll apply that European context in Indian subcontinent. And I'll give Indian examples. That is what I have seen. Let me make it very clear. What I have observed, I know it will be posted in YouTube also, but I make it very clear. The teachers from North India, our students are going there. These North Indian teachers, with due respect, I respect them a lot. There are many senior teachers also. They are giving examples from their society perspective. And for us, that society is different. We don't know that society. North Indian culture, we don't know much. We appreciate North Indian culture. I appreciate North Indian culture. I studied in North Indian. But you don't relate to their culture. So to overcome that challenge, what I have seen, this is a major gap which I have seen. To overcome that, I will give our Telugu states example, our southern Indian examples, where students will connect. So this theory will simplify. I'll simplify the theory by giving well-known examples. Then, would it be easy for you to understand theory in a better way? That is what I wouldn't it be easy? Definitely it would. So that is the reason why I'm going to simplify abstract theoretical content. And this is very challenging. I'll ask students after listening to my classes. Sometimes I'll ask them to write your own definition of what I have explained. After explaining historical materialism or any theory, I'll ask them to write their own definition. If you write your own definition, isn't it not proper understanding? That is the reason why when I, in classes also, when I teach, I say that if you should ask me doubts. If you don't ask me, I'll ask you doubts. And first thing. Second thing is, if you are attending my classes, you should get an clarity to such an extent that you should be comfortable to explain to your friends. That is what is understanding. Understanding is not getting what I am conveying, but you should be in a position to reciprocate your knowledge to your friend who have missed your class. That level of understanding is needed. So if you get peripheral understanding, peripheral clarity also, I repeat my class again. I repeat the concept again. Okay, so this is how we will be addressing this abstract theoretical content. This is a challenge. Answer writing complexity. I know that everyone don't have the skill to write answers, but in our classes, every 2 weeks, once you will have an answer writing session. You will be provided, if you join this course, you will be provided free test series, free mentorship. Test series, when I am talking about test series, someone will not evaluate this test series. I will evaluate in person. I will evaluate this test series. I will not give it to any mentor. I have a mentor for sociology. He will help me with material, but he will not help with paper evaluation, because what I have dealt in my class, I know that mentor will not attend my classes. So students will attend my classes. From my classes, how well you are writing answers, that I have to evaluate, right? That is the reason why I will evaluate. Okay, I am going to evaluate. Next, conceptual overlap but not direct repetition. Definitely in paper 1 and paper 2 there will be a conceptual overlap. Thinkers will be repeated in other part. In unit 4 you have thinkers. Unit 4 thinkers will be repeated even before the start of unit 4 also. We will learn about these thinkers in unit 1, unit 2, unit 3. But these thinkers will be repeated all over. So how they are repeated and how they are overlapping. What is the overlapping between paper 1 and paper 2? That we will be focusing. I know that when it comes to UPSC, now UPSC is not, the challenge with UPSC students is, earlier when I started preparation, the challenge with UPSC was to get a good source. Now what is the challenge with respect to UPSC is to make sure what is good source. Earlier availability of content was a challenge. Now there is so much availability of content, and what is the proper material which you should focus. Too much of overload, too much of availability of material, but genuine material is not there. That is the reason why I say that I will give you class notes. You will have a class notes. You will have a class notes with proper written definition and complete syllabus. You will have handwritten notes of your own. Okay, and along with that you will have a printed material also, which I am going to give you, which is a combination of different sources. So through that you can not have any challenge with respect to resource overload also. And one of the major thing which I wanted to highlight here is, many toppers are getting 150 marks out of 250 in paper 1, but they are hardly able to get 100 or 110 in paper 2. Through my classes, I want to make sure the promise which I made for myself, the aim through my classes is I want my classroom student should be the topper in paper 2. Paper 2, I am going to discuss the dynamism. I am going to make sure how you have to integrate paper 1, how you have to talk about paper 2, how you have to write paper 2. So definitely this is a challenge. This is a promise which I made for myself. This only can be fulfilled with your cooperation. At the end of the day, this is not, I am not going to give you an exam, right? I want you to give this exam, okay? And you want to be the topper. So that is the reason why through my classes, paper 2, చాలా మంది ఏం చేస్తారు అంటే పేపర్ 1 ని 3 months ఎక్స్టెండ్ చేసి పేపర్ 2 ని 1 month లో ఫినిష్ చేస్తారు. ఓకే, అలా కాకుండా ఈక్వల్ వెయిటేజ్ ఇస్ దేర్, ఈక్వల్ టైమ్ విల్ బి కేటర్డ్ టు పేపర్ 2 ఆల్సో, అండ్ ద డైనమిజం ఇన్ పేపర్ 2, కంటెంపరీ ఇష్యూస్, ఇప్పుడు బీహార్ వర్డిక్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేశాను, వైట్ కాలర్ టెర్రరిజం, అలాంటి కంటెంపరీ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్, దోస్ కంటెంపరీ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ హౌ టు బి ఇన్కల్కేటెడ్ ఇన్ paper 2 I'll try to discuss, and we'll definitely discuss about time management. Okay, so these are the aspects which I wanted to discuss with respect to next. I thought of discussing paper 1 and paper 2 syllabus. Anyways, we are going to, sir, please start with basics. Yes, Anif, definitely my classes will start from basics. Sometimes students will say that, sir, I know, like repeatedly students says that, sir, sometimes we feel that you are teaching more than what is there in syllabus. As I said, no. Yes, at times you have to read more than syllabus. Means, Anif, let me give you a clarity that through my classes, I'll make you prepare for worst case scenario. Worst case scenario అంటే ఈ క్వశ్చన్ ఇప్పుడు రాలేదని వదిలేదు. There is a concept called work and economic life. Okay, I'll talk about that. I'll give weightage also for every topic. What are the previous year questions, and in this topic, from this topic, what are the questions which are being asked. For so many years these questions have not been asked. We'll not skip that. We'll focus on that. So we will start from basics only. As I said, no, we'll not only start from the theory basics. We'll start from the basics of thinkers only. From where he got inspired, from which university he studied, initially what he studied. You know, when we talk about Durkheim, I'll say that initially he was worked as a trainer. He trained teachers. Why did he train teachers? There is a relation with his theory. So definitely I'll make sure that our classes will start from basics. Okay, now you know, this is one thing which is a major question. You know, I know after this session also you'll be asking, sir, what are the sources and how your classes will help us to break that 280 mark. Okay, so I'll discuss the material also, I'll discuss the resources also, and resources are clear, sir. అందరి దగ్గర books availability ఉంది. దాన్ని ఆ బుక్స్ నుంచి ఎలా ఎక్స్ట్రాక్ట్ చేసి, how to read that book, how to apply that theories, how to extract knowledge, how much revisions are needed. Okay, how to make short notes. These are the things which are missing amongst the students. So from this part, how my classes will make sure that you breach this 280 mark. Okay, so these are the Haralambos is one of the basic book, Redzer is one of the basic book, and you have Nitin Sangwan, Essential Sociology. These are the basic books, and definitely my class notes will help you. Okay, my class notes will be major material for you. Okay, through my class notes, I'll make sure that through my class notes, every question which is asked in UPSC will be reflected from my class notes. So how I am going to do that is, these are the basic books. Okay, please go through these basic books. For optional paper 1 and paper 2, these are the basic books, and these are the NCERTs and IGNOU material. NCRTs, you have 4 NCRTs, 11th class, 2 NCRTs, Introduction of Sociology, Understanding Society, Indian Society, Social Change and Development in India. These are the 4 basic NCRTs. Okay, and these are the BA level IGNO material, these are the MA level IGNO material. So all these resources will be summarized in my material. I'll give you class notes also. Apart from class notes, you will also get one material. That is like, if at all I can go on, I want to teach more. But students also, I also want to promote critical thinking. If everything I teach, sometimes students will not able to apply. Now UPSC is majorly focusing on application. UPSC is not focusing on, earlier UPSC was asking but what is the, explain this theory of thinker, explain this theory of thinker, what is this theory, explain this theory. Now UPSC is asking what is, interpret this theory in contemporary trend. Just now we talked about historical materialism. Try to explain historical materialism in the Indian context. There is a concept called alienation. This was given by Karl Marx. So interpret alienation in Indian context. Okay, so this way you have to understand those basic topic. You should not only understand theories, but you should interpret those theories in contemporary context. So want to skip those hectic material. If you want to skip those material, if you want to do self study, you can go through those books. But if you want to skip those material, my notes has got sourced from all the above, and I have done the work for now. You just need to study and answer from it. So my class notes plus my material, which I am going to distribute you, will help you, which is more than enough. You don't need any other additional material. See, my course will be the full stop to your UPSC sociology journey, because I am going to provide class notes, I am going to explain, I am going to emphasize on conceptual clarity, I am going to provide you material, I am also going to provide you test series, and I myself will evaluate your answers. And definitely my classes will include previous year questions discussion, and my classes will also focus on answer writing. Okay, every week, once in 2 weeks, you will have an answer writing session. And not only answer writing session, after every test you will have a discussion session also. Okay, you will have, after evaluation of paper, you will have 1-to-1 discussion session also, where you have committed mistake. Now, so if you want to cross this 280 and you want to reach 320 plus, and how we are going to do that? So yes, sociology syllabus is short and sociology is easy, but most dynamic subject where mere reading of material is not sufficient to cross 280 and reach 230. You need to integrate paper 1 and paper 2. You need to give contemporary examples. What I have seen in most of the students is like simple points, sir. Like you might relate, although you might not have aware about this syllabus. In sociology, every thinker would give their theories, but when Karl Marx have given a theory, when Durkheim has given a theory, when Weber has given a theory, definitely this theory will have limitations, and limitations will be pointed out by some other thinker. That is what we call as a criticism. Unfortunately, after 2-3 attempts of mains, what I have seen in personal mentorship is they are not including criticism. Criticism is another side of the same coin. which you are not able to grasp, you are not able to write. If you write theory better without limitation, you will only get half the marks. If you write theory without example, you did not substantiate, you are not going to get marks. If you write theory, చాలా మంది ఏం చేస్తున్నారంటే పేపర్ 2లో నా దగ్గరకు వచ్చి అడిగే క్వశ్చన్ మెయిన్ ఇదే, సార్ పేపర్ 2 వై వీఆర్ నాట్ ఏబుల్ టు గెట్ good marks. In paper 2, why you are not able to get good marks is you are not writing that paper 2 from a sociological point. You are not including sociological. There is a concept called sociological jargons, subject jargons. Subject jargons means subject specific terminologies. Jargons and terminologies. Social, like we talked about caste in politics, casteization of politics, politicization of caste. This is one terminologies. Such a type of terminologies are not being, students are not able to inculcate. Paper 2లో మార్క్స్ రాకపోవడానికి రీజన్ ఏంటి అంటే యు ఆర్ నాట్ రైటింగ్ సోషాలజికల్ ఆన్సర్, యు ఆర్ రైటింగ్ ఏ జనరల్ స్టడీస్ ఆన్సర్. హౌ టు మేక్ యువర్ ఆన్సర్ సోషాలజికల్? You have to include sociological terminologies. You have to include thinkers. You have to integrate paper 1 and paper 2. You have to give examples. You have to include thinkers. This is, unfortunately, students are not able to do that. Let me tell you, in paper 2 sociology questions చూస్తే GS1 questions, paper 2 sociology questions same ఉంటాయి. Answers will not be same. Answers should not be the same. But unfortunately, students are not able to understand this minute thing. There is a difference between sociological answer, there is a difference between optional level answer, there is a difference between GS level answers. You should not write optional level answers in GS. You should not restrict your answers in paper 2 to only GS level. This is where many people are not able to reach 320 plus. Everywhere, now and then, I'm going to correct your answers. I'll try to include how to write sociological answer. So I'll give you an example. So I'm going to make sure my students integrate static with dynamic content. Okay. See, I have discussed. No, let me give you an example. What we are going to do differently from other, and what makes us different. What makes my classes different? See, this is a question which is asked in like 2019. Okay, so why is gender a dimension of social stratification? How does gender intersect other dimensions of inequality based on caste, class, race and ethnicity? See, this is a question which is asked. Why is gender a dimension of social stratification? How does gender intersect other dimensions of inequality based on caste, class, race and ethnicity? Now, what I have observed with the students is they write this definition. Gender shapes how society is organized, influencing people access to opportunities. Because, when we talk about being a person of female gender, you don't have that much opportunity. That is the reason why you see women don't have, when we talk about labor force participation rate, women labor force participation is less. So influencing people access to opportunities and respect. Yes, because of patriarchy, there is a domination of men over women in society. It often combines with factors like caste, class, identity, creating different levels of advantages and disadvantages. Okay, it will, because of gender, men have undue advantage. Okay, you know that is the reason why you see when you go to your home, okay, at your home, when a father comes after tiresome work, okay, after being tired from work, if there is girl child and boy child, after entering the house, father would ask girl child to fetch water for him. Why? A boy child cannot grab some water for his father. That is how our society is tuned. So this definition is perfect, but here sociological perspective is missing. So I'll use the definition about gender which is given by our sociological thinker. That is the reason why I'll talk about Weberian definition of gender. Weber. Okay. Weber talks about gender in Weberian terms. Gender forms a distinct status group. Gender is another status group. Okay. Marked by honor, restrictions and differential life chances. Yes or no? The honor enjoyed, social status, restrictions. On men there are less restrictions, on women there are more restrictions. Okay, state government of Telangana, state government of India are screening night 11 o'clock shows, but society don't want women to watch 11 o'clock shows. Then state government should say no, these 11 o'clock shows are only for boys. That is the reason why in Coimbatore recently, when a boy and a girl were going out, okay, somewhere around in the late evenings, there was a mob, a group of 4 people attacked and raped her. And the society perception towards that incident was, what is the need for that woman to travel in late evenings? Is there a rule set by the society or government that women should not travel outside? Then women won't travel, right? So Weber talked about gender as a status group who is enjoying different honor, has different restrictions. Men has different restrictions and women have different restrictions and different life chances. Yes, many women don't have the opportunity to pursue higher education. There are different life choices. You understood? So how we are refining, how we are refining the definition. See, why I focus on these aspects is, you won't get writing mains, showcasing your skills. You get very few opportunities. కొంతమంది 2-3 prelims attempt ఇచ్చిన తర్వాత మెయిన్స్ రాస్తాడు. Means nothing but you got to showcase your talent after 2 or 3 years. When you get that opportunity, you have to use better, right? Okay. When you want to, అది ఉంటుంది చూడండి, ఖైదీ మూవీ ఉంటుంది చూడండి, ఖైదీయో ఏదో, లైక్ దాంట్లో ఒక హీరో జైలు నుంచి రిలీజ్ అవుతారు, హీ విల్ ఎంజాయ్ ఫీస్ట్, చికెన్ బిర్యానీ, చాలా రోజుల తర్వాత చికెన్ బిర్యానీ తింటాడు. సో అలానే మనం కూడా మన టాలెంట్ షోకేస్ చేయాల్సినప్పుడు మెయిన్స్ లో we give everything to that opportunity and utilize it everything. అనుంచని ఏం చేస్తారంటే, నేను ఎలా చేస్తానంటే, అందరు ఏమనుకుంటారంటే రైటింగ్ మెయిన్స్ ఇస్ అన్ ఆపర్చునిటీ. What I say to my students is, writing every answer is an opportunity. That is the reason why our fight is for 1 mark. Okay, so this is how you have to fine tune your answer. When you fine tune your answer, okay, so like modern day feminist scholars such as Kimberly Crenshaw, actually this word, when we talk about intersection anunjurandi, although it is technical, but you will appreciate that Kimberly Crenshaw was one of the feminists. She was an advocate, she was a feminist. She for the first time talked about intersectionality అనేది ఎలా డిఫైన్ చేయాలంటే, woman is not being discriminated, woman is not facing one dimension of discrimination, she is facing multiple dimension of discrimination. For women, she is being discriminated, she is facing sexist remarks. You understand my point? When you talk about Dalit women will be facing discrimination for being woman, she will be facing discrimination for being Dalit, she will be facing discrimination for being lower class. You understand my point? There is a class dimension, there is a caste dimension, there is a gender dimension. That is what is intersectionality. So this question is saying that talk gender from intersectional perspective. Okay, not gender, don't talk gender only from class perspective, caste perspective. Okay, on the same line when we talk about transgenders. Okay, so this type of intersectionality have to be included. So that is the reason why we talked about intersectionality. Intersectionality in a word, and a word coined by this person, Crenshaw. Intersectionality shows how gender never operates alone. Gender never operates like men versus women, but interlocks with caste. Lower caste woman has different discrimination. Class, race, black woman, white woman. White woman might only suffer with sexism. Black woman might suffer with not only sexism but also with racism. You understand my point? That is what is intersectionality. And sexuality to state stratification. So can't you see the difference between this definition and this definition? I'm saying, fight for 1 mark. This is how you have to fight for that mark. Next. So when we talk about the body, after introduction, when we talk about body must be from different dimensions. People write this type of introduction. I'll send you the PDF, you can write. But when we, in our classes, how we are going to discuss this gender dimension is, we talk gender as a structural hierarchy, gender versus caste debate, gender versus class intersection, gender versus religion. Recently, in India, there was a debate about hijab and triple talaq. That we have to include. Definitely, triple talaq was affecting the dignity of women. Triple talaq is exploiting vulnerable Muslim women because of this practice of triple talaq. So, we will talk about gender, we will give such type of everyday examples, contemporary examples. So, gender versus religion intersection, gender as structural hierarchy, we will be talking about, there is a feminist called Sylvia Walby. Sylvia Walby talked about 6 types of gender dimensions. There is an domestic patriarchy. There is an domestic patriarchy. Domestic patriarchy means at home, mothers are doing unpaid labor. She highlighted about that unpaid labor. She highlighted about economic patriarchy. She talked about political patriarchy. She talked about cultural patriarchy. Culture also. When we talk about when woman is wearing modern outfit, then gradually patriarchal men will say that woman is not respecting Indian culture. So this type of structural different dimensions of patriarchy should be discussed. So I'll talk about these things in class. Okay, why I'm not going into more technicalities is, I know that you cannot appreciate that much, but we will make sure that we discuss in all the dimensions. Okay, we'll talk about this. That is the reason why Sylvia Walby talked about patriarchal structure. There is a thinker called Pierre Bourdieu. He talked about symbolic capital. Okay, so through these examples, by writing theories, by writing examples, by highlighting who have given this theory. This is a theory. This theory is talking about this dimension. This thinker, Gopal Guru, okay, he is a Dalit feminist. Okay, so he talked about like Dalit women facing graded inequality. Okay, so we will talk about these thinkers, the theories and their dimension they have highlighted, and we will give example. This is the thinker. This thinker has explained this dimension, and this is how we will give an example. So now, don't you think giving a theory and giving an example, all UPSC is asking for justification. You have to justify your stand. Yes, we are justifying that gender has caste dimension, gender has class dimension, gender has religion dimension. You are giving an example, you are giving a theory. Gender has region dimension also. Rural women and urban women. Rural women are facing different types of patriarchy. Urban women are facing different types of patriarchy. Next, gender has sexuality also. LGBT. Okay. Next, gender has digital hierarchy also. Nowadays you see deep fake videos. Why deep fake videos are not being made on male actors? Why deep fake videos are only being made on female actors? So gender has digital connotation also. Gender has cultural and symbolic stratification, and gender workplace, and gender has race, ethnicity, global level. So this is how we make sure that when you learn any concept, every dimension is been focused. With every dimension, you will get the conceptual clarity, who has given that dimension and what is that example, suitable example, how to justify that. So this is how we will try to make sure that you write better answers. And by summing up those dimensions, we'll discuss conclusion. As Sylvia Walby's patriarchy weakens, means as patriarchy is weakening. Okay, patriarchy nowadays you see ఇంతకుముందున్న మేల్ డామినేషన్ అని తగ్గిపోయింది. ఓకే, patriarchy weakens and Crenshaw's intersectional solidarity strengthen. Intersectional solidarities means many women, different background, many LGBT people, all the vulnerable sections will come together on one platform. That is the reason why you see in Bihar, when we talk about why women policies towards one community was more, because women were most vulnerable. So that is the reason why, as women were vulnerable, women got consolidated. To get this consolidated vote, government have taken measures. That is the reason why you see in Bihar, self-help group movement has been started. And self-help group movement ante like ఇప్పుడు ఉంటే చూడండి, లైక్ women organizations, NGOs లాగా, లైక్ సెల్ఫ్ హెల్ప్ గ్రూప్స్, ఏ యూనియన్ మీరు చూడండి ఉంటుంది చూడండి, లైక్ women will take loans from banks, self help groups. ఓకే, డోక్రా మండలి అని ఉంటారు చూడండి. సో అట్లా డోక్రా మహిళ, సో ఇలా గ్రూప్స్ లో దే విల్ టేక్ లోన్స్ అండ్ దే విల్ వర్క్ ఫర్ దేర్ upliftment. They will go for mini scale entrepreneurship. సింపుల్ గా వాళ్ళు ఏదో వాళ్ళ రీజన్ లో దే విల్ స్టార్ట్ దేర్ ఓన్ స్టార్ట్అప్. ఓకే, లైక్ పేపర్ మేకింగ్, లేకపోతే ఇప్పుడు చూడండి ఈ మధ్యలో ఐ హావ్ సీన్ ఇన్ ద న్యూస్ పేపర్, లైక్ నవడేస్ వి సీ లైక్ దీస్ పేపర్ ప్లేట్స్ ఆర్ బికమింగ్ మోర్ పాపులర్. ఓకే, సో పేపర్ కప్స్, అలాంటి స్మాల్ entrepreneurship, they are venturing into that. Okay, so that is the reason why you see gender, to overcome gender discrimination, what happens is these thinkers, what they have said is patriarchy is weakening, male domination తగ్గిపోతుంది, so intersectional solidarity strengthened, traditional gender hierarchies face growing contention, means men domination was contested. That is the reason why you see now woman is asking her position in the society, give recognition to me, give my rights. No, she's fighting for her rights, she is demanding for her rights, social rights, economic rights, political rights. That is the reason why you see nowadays many women politicians are entering into political domain. So that is how men are facing contentions. With digital activism expanding, that is the reason why you see Me Too movement, ఇలాంటి అన్ని మూమెంట్స్ ఎక్స్పెండ్ అవుతాయి. ఎక్కడన్నా ఉమెన్ మీద అట్రాసిటీస్ జరిగింది అనుకోండి, ఇప్పుడు కోయంబత్తూర్ ఇన్సిడెంట్ జరిగింది, మెనీ ఉమెన్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్స్ హ్యావ్ క్రిటిసైజ్డ్ ద పొలిటీషియన్స్ who have criticized women, and then through digital activism they are saying that it is not women's mistake, women has nothing to do, it is the state's failure, it is the men mentality which has to be changed. So through digital activism expanding and reflecting modernity, reshaping identities, we have to renew our identities, was given by Anthony Giddens. So this is how, I know that like this is becoming bit technical, but what I'm trying to say is how other people write answers and how my students write answers would be different, because I'll make them to make sure that sociological perspective, sociological dimension, sociological essence should not be missed in your answers. Okay, so this is how we have to focus. So I hope you got the point what I am emphasizing on, and yes, you can do it by yourself by going through the resources, but my expertise will definitely help you to make sure that how to by simplifying the concepts, by making sure that your answer writing gets better, by making sure that your you are addressing the proper demand of the question, making sure that your perspective, sorry, your answer should not become like a general studies. You get that sociological orientation. Okay, so do you have any doubts? So this is how our course is going to be there. In my course, let me repeat this point. I'll make sure that syllabus will be finished, but syllabus finishing is not just topics which has given in the syllabus. To understand the topics, what are the other essential topics which have to be included, that will be there. Like recently in my test series, there was a student who was only giving test series. Sir, I have given a question on loss of dialects. So he came and asked, sir, loss of dialects is not in the syllabus. Then I asked that, without loss of dialects, can you explain me these concepts which is given? Then he said that he can't explain. So inbuilt, there are some hidden areas, gray areas, which are very much essential to understand these concepts better. That is what I talk about, hidden areas and gray areas. So definitely that hidden areas and gray areas will be focused. Definitely in my classes, syllabus will be finished, with PYQs will be emphasized. I'll try to integrate paper 1 and paper 2. I'll make sure that you are, when a topic is finished, by complete finishing of our syllabus, 90% of your preparation will be finished. Only 10% is you have to do revision. That means, sir, how are you saying that 90% will be finished with syllabus finishing? I'll make sure that you, by finishing syllabus, you will write test for every topic. See, what is preparation? You finish syllabus, you prepare for exam, I conduct exam, you write exam, and I evaluate my paper, I'll evaluate your paper and give value additions. With that value additions, in the next test, you will improve that. And there will be unit wise test, and there will be section wise test, and there will also be paper wise test. So I'll make sure by finishing your sociology optional, your 90% of your syllabus will be finished. All you have to do is, you have to revise from my notes, from my material which I give. You have to prepare short notes. Short notes ఎలా ప్రిపేర్ చేయాలో కూడా చెప్తాను. అన్ఫార్చునేట్లీ ఏమవుతుందంటే, ఈ మార్కెట్లో ఆన్సర్ రైటింగ్ అనగానే నోట్స్ రైటింగ్ చేస్తున్నారు. సార్, దెర్ ఇస్ ఎ డిఫరెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ ఆన్సర్ రైటింగ్ అండ్ నోట్స్ రైటింగ్. నోట్స్ని ఆన్సర్స్ రాసి దాన్ని ఆన్సర్ రైటింగ్ అనుకుంటున్నారు. అంటే ఇది హైలైట్ చేయొద్దు కానీ, బట్ అన్ఫార్చునేట్లీ దిస్ ఈజ్ ఆల్సో బీన్ సీన్. అంటే నేను నోట్స్ ఎలా ఇచ్చానో ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ అదే ఆన్సర్ రాస్తున్నారు. దట్ ఈస్ నాట్ మై ఇంటెన్షన్. సో అందుగురించి మీకు మోడల్ ఆన్సర్స్ కూడా నేను ఇస్తాను. మోడల్ ఆన్సర్స్ నేను ఎప్పుడు ప్రింట్ చేసి ఇవ్వను. మోడల్ ఆన్సర్స్ మీకు ఒక క్వశ్చన్ ఇచ్చి ఆన్సర్ రాసిన తర్వాత నేనే బోర్డు మీద మోడల్ ఆన్సర్ రాస్తాను. ఇలా రాయాలి అని ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాను. We will mostly focus on model answers. I will write answers in front of you. You will know how to write answers also. Definitions రాసినప్పుడు ఎలా పర్ఫెక్ట్ డెఫినిషన్స్ ఎలా రాయాలి, అన్ని డైమెన్షన్స్ ఎలా కవర్ చేయాలి డెఫినిషన్లో, బాడీ ఎలా రాయాలి, ఆన్సర్కి బాడీకి ఎలా ఇంటర్లింక్ చేయాలి, బాడీకి కంక్లూజన్కి ఎలా ఇంక్లూడ్ చేయాలి, కంక్లూజన్స్ ఎలా బెటర్గా రాయాలి, దీస్ ఆల్ థింగ్స్, everything, every minute detailing will be made sure in our course. Okay, so anyways, this is how I conclude my session. Do you have any doubts? How did you like this session? Okay, so this is how we will focus on our course. I hope to see you in classes. Chalo.